Welcome to the Look Good, Move Well podcast.
Okay, welcome back to another episode. We are doing coffee questions.
Yeah.
But there's no coffee on the table. It's afternoon, so we're not drinking coffee, but these are like questions that you might ask somebody over coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were all inspired by questions that Tim Ferris typically asks people on his interviews. So
Cool.
Since you're not on the Tim Ferris show yet, I thought
That's right.
I would give you an opportunity to answer some of these.
Tim, okay, let's go.
Okay. All right. Number one, what is the best investment you've made? Money, time, skill, anything?
Whew. I mean, I could say something like my kids or my wife or, but I've been making investments into this account since I was very small. And that is clearly my physical fitness. That is the best investment I have ever made. And I make investments into that daily. But truly, like I feel like I started, I'm 37, I'll be 38 in exactly a month. What's September 2nd today? Yeah, October 2nd is my birthday. So in 1 month, I'll be 38 years old. And maybe with the exception of a 1 month period of time, once or twice, since I was 12 years old, I have been, making physical investments into the body. And that has taught me so much about who I am, what it means to be disciplined, what it means to strive for something beyond what I even know could be possible, and reach for something that I'm not even sure if I'll ever get there, but I'm gonna try. It's taught me how to stay open-minded about possibilities, and it's also given me. It's how I met my wife. It's the business I ended up in. It's what got me aligned to all the people I'm closest to in my life. It's where, the people I'm my best friends that I consider my best friends now have kind of come back into my life after, periods of time to say we align so much together now because of the fitness thing that I do. So I would say that's it. How about you?
Yeah. I think for me, it has been an investment of money into courses and mentors and self-development education that has been specifically for me. So instead of going through a 4-year degree program, I left college early and I basically became a self-guided student. And so I was just thinking, how much have I actually spent? It's probably been around $50,000 or more, over the course of a very long time. But in different courses, mentors, people to guide me, because what that has brought me is an outside person who has shown me another aspect of who I could become, where I wasn't stuck on that self-limiting belief.
Yeah.
When somebody else comes in and says, oh, actually, this whole thing that you think is happening for you, I'm going to show you a whole different way to apply this skill, to go acquire this piece of knowledge, to put this into practice, to engage in this type of relationship that will really expand your ability to pull different levers in your life.
Yeah. And along the way, you spent $50,000, you made it all back and more. And that's what Hormozy's talking so much about these days. And, it's I spent $65,000 in the first year of medical school and then I dropped out. So how useful was that? I'm a quarter doctor.
You're a quarter doctor. Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. All right. What's your favorite purchase under $100?
I think we did this as an icebreaker with the team recently.
We did?
Yeah, I don't know, sometime. But I know that Cliff digs this question. Cliff is our director of operations, and he handles the icebreaker topics at our all hands meetings every week.
That used to be you used to have to do all that.
I'd be like, Sati, you got anything? I would just ask people like,
who's got one?
Who's got one? Yeah, best under 100. I mean, lately, it's probably my Ember mug. If you guys don't know what an Ember mug is, I mean, they've got different levels of it. I think if you get like the 10 ounce or the 8 or 10 ounce mug, and you get it in like the black or matte white, not the metallic cool ones. Yeah. Because at this point I have a couple of them. But the first one I got was under $100, and this thing keeps your coffee or your beverage at temperature, whatever temperature your optimal drinking temperature is, for hours if you like to sip slowly. And what I do is I brew my coffee into it. And so I do the pour over, I can finish the pour over, and then I can walk away and get distracted by like all the things my kids have me doing in the morning. When I come back, the coffee's in the mug and it's at the right temperature and it hasn't lost temperature. So this has been my recent hack. I even told Nate about this, but it's the number of times that I've like brewed coffee, it's gone through the pour over, but I got like tied up with the kids doing something and then came back to like something that was not optimal temperature, was frustrating. But now that is solved.
It's solved a pain point in your life.
Big time.
Wow.
And it's very aesthetically pleasing. It's got the little glowing light at the bottom that tells me that it's like, we're keeping your coffee nice and toasty. You. It can even do it it can even keep cold beverages cold, but I haven't tried that because I don't do the iced coffee thing. That's not me.
Yeah.
How about you?
I was really trying to think of this, and I think the thing that like makes me most happy right now, it's like I was trying to think of like, what's that thing I'm like, oh, I'm so stoked to go like use this thing or it brings me joy in my life. But it's gonna be actually I may be able to combine these two and still get it under $100. It's my Steezy Studio 1-year membership and my Duolingo subscription.
Nice.
Because these are my hands down 2 favorite apps. Steezy Studio, if you don't know, it's a hip hop app and it's so fun. You can go and do like dance alongs and like
Sweet.
You can learn hip hop moves. It's a great break for your day when you're having that mid-afternoon slump. As we talked about in another episode. I'm like such a nerd for this app. Okay, and then Duolingo, obviously I'm obsessed with it.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah.
I feel like I should get the Steezy Studio for my kids and for the family.
I want to get my kids on. I want to like put it on our projector and maybe we can do some dancing together.
I thought of another one as we were talking, but Squatty Potty.
Oh, you love your Squatty Potty.
I love my Squatty Potty, and I just don't understand why this is not just standard practice everywhere.
Walk into any bathroom.
Yeah.
And why is there not a Squatty Potty there?
I mean, and for those of you who don't know what a Squatty Potty is, it's basically a very elegant looking step stool that fits around your toilet, like, and kind of tucks back behind, like doesn't stick out too far. You sit down in the toilet, you lift your legs up, you put your feet on it, and it helps you adopt a squatting position when you're pooping. And the biomechanics of this are that when you squat to go poo, there's a ligament that is actually goes around your like rectum, okay? And when you're squatting, that ligament loosens, which allows you to fully eliminate your bowels. Mm-hmm. But if you're only sitting on a conventional toilet at 90 degrees, you have tension on that. So you can't get a full bowel movement in that position. And this was researched by the gastroenterology department at Stanford, and it became standard practice, standard medical care for every single person that was in their inpatient wards in this department. They're like, everyone has to use this. Yeah. Because it's
profound.
It's just science, people. You don't why, we don't do it the other way because the other way is wrong and this way's right.
I'm just laughing because when Tim Ferris interviewed the founder of Duolingo, his answer to this question was his bidet. So I feel like there's a theme here where having a great poop is just one of the things that helps you become better in life overall.
Yep. Sweet.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if I could sip my Ember mug coffee while on the squatty potty,
your dream could come true.
I mean, if I say if, like I don't do it all the time.
I do that all the time. I've seen your Instagram posts about the view from your squatty potty.
That's when you're like, I really need some content today. What am I gonna?
Okay. What was your last failure?
Oh. I mean, life is just day after day failures.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, it's with kids, it's like all the time. But like a big failure was, no, I don't even need to go big. Like my this morning, get my kids, ready for school. And, Joey just really wanting to like connect with me. And her way of doing that is like, Daddy, help me put on my clothes. And Joey's can put on her clothes. She's 3 years old. She can get dressed. Like, if she feels some sense of urgency because she wants something and she's lickety split. Mm-hmm. And I was struggling to like get my own situation together for, to get them out the door and get moving, that I was kind of in this like refuse, like, no, you can do it yourself. Like, you know how to do it. Like, you can do it yourself. And I kept doing that. And, it was like maybe by the third time of her asking, kind of having a meltdown, then I was like, whoa, like my approach, my strategy, not working here at all. And she's not getting the point, or like whatever I'm trying to accomplish and like get her to shape up and put on her own clothes is like unsuccessful. So at that point I kind of switched gears, but then I kind of like, I wasn't like as loving as I could have been about it. I was kind of like, okay, fine, I'll do this. Like, okay, see, yeah, we got it. Like, I don't know if she perceived like, if she felt bad about like needing help, but I was like, if I made her feel bad for wanting help from me and wanting to like connect with me for a second, like that feels horrible. Feels horrible to say right now, but like just kind of but I like recognize, I'm like, okay, that was a fail. Let's do better next time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, don't cry. Okay, I'm crying. You're crying. I'm not crying. I see tears in your eyes, not mine.
No,
not mine.
I've had that same experience as a mom, of course, and it's like, I think that's some of the hardest fails of all, because being a parent is just a continual exposure to all of your own flaws.
Yes, totally. Yeah. God. And I don't want to become like, I feel like more and more I'm becoming like that parent that like talks about parenting like this is like, if anybody out there that's not a parent, like I hope I'm not that guy that's like, all he talks about is his kids and blah blah blah, but it is just like this, like get this pretty big truth mirror that's just staring at you every single day. It just reflects back all the things that you're struggling with, or you maybe don't know you're struggling with, that are just right there in front of you. And that's just like makes for either a really painful existence or an accelerated, evolution in who you are, which is also painful. It's like, I don't really want to work on this right now. Like, I'd like to just not have something to like be challenged by every single day of my life. But hey.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You got one?
Yeah, of course. I have many failures. But I think for me, a big theme is I've been really struggling, as you know, with I'm in a transition moment in my career where I'm about to go up a level or few, and I'm having sort of that like professional growth spurt, but it's not pleasant or fun in any way, because I'm in this super, super, super painful phase of like self-doubt and like knowing what I want to be doing and knowing where I'm going, but I haven't gotten there yet, and I haven't seen the fruits of that yet. So it just feels really like hard, and it seems like everywhere I look on Twitter, it's like people who are like 10 million times more successful than me telling me everything that's wrong with me and just feeling kind of like shit all the time about my own abilities. So I think but I will say one place where that's manifesting is that we've been experimenting with a lot of new content styles recently that are all coming from a strategic direction that I've been putting together, and they are starting to see the light of day, and there have definitely been some early wins that are really exciting, but there are also ones that just completely flop. So then it's like, okay, those moments of failure, having to recognize that in the content game, that is 1,000% normal and to be expected. And in fact, if you aren't failing, you're probably not trying enough. So having to reframe things into, this is really uncomfortable for me personally. I'm expanding into new things. I'm trying new things. It's all based around a strategy, and it's not like I'm pulling stuff out of my ass, but I've got to like sit in the uncomfortable part of not knowing what's going to work, if anything, when it will work, what will work, and waiting for that.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Well, we're along for the ride with you too, so we feel that.
Yeah. Do you feel that, like, with the content?
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if it flops, like, maybe, it's me on the camera. I'm flopping.
I'm making it.
Nate's all
cutting
three
it.
of us in this room.
Like,
we're heavily invested in this process.
Yeah.
Nate's over there thinking like, Satya, you better not be about to just fuck me over. Like, you better know what you're doing. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Failure time.
Failures.
All right. You get a billboard, a giant billboard, and you could give any message to humanity. What would it say?
It's so funny. I've heard these questions like a million times from Tim Ferris, and I'm like, why don't I have good answers to these?
I know.
Like, I should have been working on this. Yeah, it's something like it's not going to come out like perfect, but it's like, okay, there's two directions I would go with this. The first one is more of like the, do something today, do something every day that would make your 20-year-old older self like proud. Or it's like, how does it work? It's like, actually this all ties together. I'm just trying to button it up, but I won't get there. It's like, in 30 years or 20, 30 years, you are going to be the person that you admire and look up to today. Start acting, start acting like that person. Like, make the choices, do the behaviors that in 30 years you'll be like, damn, like my 20-year-old self would have loved this, like would have looked up to this person, like, and been like, I want to be that person, And I've said that before about how I view where I'm at today in life. It's like, when I was 16 years old in the gym 21 years ago, like if I could see myself now, I'd be like, damn, like if I was working out in the same gym, I'd be like, oh, I want to go, like, what is that guy doing? I want to be that guy, And that is the sign of like living in alignment with like what you are really about. But it's these extended time horizons, like 20 years, 30 years, like 20, 30 years from now, are you going to be the person that you looked up to and admired and wanted to be like? And I don't know that most people like look 2 decades out from their life and see people like, I'm not at this point, I'm not looking at like 57-year-olds and be like, God, I want to be that person, but some quality of that person that you would admire.
Yeah.
That's a pretty lengthy billboard. I don't think I really buttoned it up.
I can work with you on the language.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can get that.
That's why, that's why we work together. You're you tighten it up. I need to take those 87 words and turn it into 3.
I can do that.
What's your billboard?
I also should have thought of this and had it really condensed into a perfect soundbite, which I don't. But I do know the underlying message of it, which is that throughout my life, I grew up in a spiritual community, and I grew up in this, it's not really a religion, but spiritual practice called Sufism. And the whole idea around Sufism is basically die before you die. And it has a lot to do with, you could phrase it as killing off your ego, but I prefer to think of it as continually reflecting back to yourself on what you can strip away as not really being meaningful in life, so that you can get to the purest essence of what your life really does and should mean to you. So I think one example of that is okay, I'm seeing just from being really aware in my life that the influences of what other people think of me are really coming into play here. It impacts how I behave on social media. It impacts how I behave in my career. It impacts how I behave around other people. Is that really necessary? Okay, actually, no. I really want to act more in accordance to who I am on the inside, and so I'm going to strip that away. So just killing off, stripping away, getting down layer by layer to what truly matters in life.
That's cool. Of all of the Tim Ferris billboard answers that I've ever heard, the one that I always remember is Wim Hof's.
Oh, what was it?
Breathe, motherfucker.
Oh, yeah.
So good. Said in his
perfect.
his accent. It's
Perfect
really terrific.
billboard.
Yeah.
And if I saw that driving down the highway, it would definitely have an impact.
Yeah.
Well, we do forget sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One last one?
Yep. Let's wrap it up.
3 books you'd recommend?
Yeah, for sure. Well, go pick up Tools of Titans by Tim Ferris. You'll get 150 of the best professionals answering these questions.
Yeah.
I'll start with one of the most impactful books for my relationship was a book called I Hear You. And don't know the author, but basically just helped me change the way I looked at communication with my wife, and that my role was not to solve or to find solutions, but was to just listen and learn empathy. So that was really powerful. That was a relationship book. Why don't you go with one? We'll back and forth.
We'll go back and forth. Okay. Well, along the lines of my billboard answer, The Untethered Soul is a great book. I think the author's name is Michael Singer, but don't hold me to that if that's not accurate. Sorry. But yeah, that's a great one. It's a very simple book to read, and it's fairly short, but it really gets at the idea of stepping out of the noise in your head so that you can start to examine your life with more thought around what really matters in your life.
Sweet. Not to be corny or anything, but the 4-hour work week was pretty impactful for me. And it was, I think the 4-hour work week was, when I look back on why was this so impactful, was because it helped. It's basically a book that says, what do you really want in life? And what are the things that you're doing to serve that purpose? And if it's something that you're doing to serve the purpose of what you really want, then just become really good and efficient at it so that you can reserve time for the things that matter the most. And it just helped me to I think I misinterpreted parts of it at times, where I was I want to make everything efficient. It's strip away stuff and make it automated and just hands off. And I think what I've learned more recently is no, it's not about like doing that with everything. Cause then if I'm hands off and I don't have to do anything, I'm going to be bored out of my mind. Like I want to have a passion thing to like really sink my teeth into. And here's a whole framework for thinking about how to like quiet all the stuff that is not essential so that you can do the essential stuff. And for Tim Ferris, it was like travel, become, a great dancer, like all the things he got passionate about. But like running his supplement business was not his passion. Like he just wanted that as like a vehicle to like have the money to go and do the things he wanted. So he just optimized that the best he could.
Yeah.
So I think that was an impactful book for me. And I've come back to a number of times over the past, probably read it like 7 years ago for the first time. And just I like those lessons.
Nice. Okay, I'm going to give a really, really practical one, which is one that I hope to give my kids someday. It's I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. And, I absolutely love him, and I've taken many of his online courses, but this is just the most practical financial advice book that I have seen, where it just gives you everything you need to know to take control of your money and also apply your money in a way that feels like it's bringing you more well-being in your life and actually creating a life you enjoy, instead of just like, oh, I have to budget because that's what everyone does, and I've got to save money because I have no idea why. And like, it really connects you to the meaning of money in your life, but also gives super, super practical tips.
That's awesome. I was like cheating and trying to go to my Audible right now and be like, whoa.
I got to cheat too. I got to look up the title of my next one because I forgot what it was.
Oh, come on now.
Okay,
I'll cheat a little bit. I'll cheat a little bit.
We can cheat. I know this book. I just have to remember exactly what the title was. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot in this that I kind of want to give like done. Kitchen Confidential. That's a book written by Anthony Bourdain, who was my favorite author and TV personality for a decade, basically. And I read his book at a time. I read that book at a time in my life where I was, really like, I was a little lost. Like I was on the medical school path, but I knew that there was something off about that. And then subsequently that just like ignited this like culinary passion and interest in me that then led me to follow his like work around the world, like in different parts of Asia that I traveled to. And it was like, I felt like I had a friend or somebody that I wanted to be like aspects of him. And I wanted to like grow and learn at the same rate that he was trying to grow and learn. And it just was at such a pivotal point in my life that, it became like, this is my guy. And so, Kitchen Confidential was what kickstarted all that. So if anybody's like been a fan of anything that they've ever seen on TV of Anthony Bourdain, they haven't read his like books, that's the one to start with.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, my last one is by Kasia. I think you pronounce her name Kasia Urbaniak. Her book is called Unbound, and this is a great book. She is fascinating. She's a former dominatrix who then became like a Taoist nun, and she has become really well versed in basically power dynamics between men and women, and she teaches these intense courses like for women to kind of reclaim their power. But reading her book was one of those moments where you're like, oh, someone has actually put into words what women experience, especially in a professional capacity, in power dynamics, which is never, ever, ever talked about. And she also gives really practical advice on like what to do about that. And I'm recommending it not just for women, but for men who want to understand what power dynamics for women are typically like, especially in the workplace, because I feel like that understanding from both sides can really help bring more balance into the equation.
I love that one.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, these were awesome questions. Thanks for bringing these to the table.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yep. And if you liked them and you got other questions like this, you know where to find us on Instagram, @Satya Khan, @Marcus Philly. Drop us a DM. We would love to engage with you there on topics that you're interested in.
Absolutely.
See you next time.
Bye.